can hear me okay. I thought I would pop in and give you a album share of my 2019 family album, which is what it says down there. This is January to April. It is very, very, very full, over full, too full, bursting at the seams full. So I'm highly likely I'm actually going to put some of April into the next third album, hoping that one will be a bit skinnier, but we'll just wait and see. Usually I do January to April and then the next so on and so forth, but we'll just have to wait and see. So a lot of these layouts in here have got process videos. I will link them down below. You've probably, if you watch our channel, already seen them. But what you don't see is the project life that I do, because I don't usually film my project life. So I thought I would share that. And I thought I would also share how I use my monthly kit. So this album pretty much only uses the monthly kit that I buy for each month, obviously, and not a lot of my stash. A few bits and bobs from my stash, but not a lot. I use my stash in my son's album. So, process video for this one, obviously beautiful tone on tone there, individual, what's the word I'm looking for? Monochromatic individual sections and stenciling behind that. But yeah, I will link any of the process videos down below. So definitely a process video for this one. So this section here is using the Kaiser Craft Blessings or Blessed collection. So I don't have a process video for this one. I actually used this one when applying for the DT position on Confessions of a Paper Addict. This was one of my design, made exclusively for the application products. And I actually made this while at hospital with my son for sleep school. So didn't film because that wasn't really possible, but just when I was sitting in my room while he was sleeping, yay for sleep school, I had a few hours that I could do most days to have a play with this. And the cut file is a Free Paper Issues one, I do believe. And then, yeah, a little bit of tulle in behind there. That was really hard to get to stick, just FYI, really hard. I think what I ended up doing, I think I ended up sticking it on the other side, on the back of the cut file, and like folding it over and flicking it over. Can't really remember. But yeah, so you can see here, oh, put that one back in. You can see here that I brought a fuse tool specifically for this purpose. I really want to come through and trim down each of my pockets and seal these shut. It drives me bonkers that they pop out. I do know it's because I overfill them, I know, but it still drives me insane that they won't stay in their pockets. You lose too many things. Anyway, small whinge. So I cut each week using an alphabet die, which I literally just have sitting up here because I use it all the time. It's a Kaiser Craft lowercase die. And the numbers I use there, see, there's my letters for week. And then the numbers I use are just the diamond press die numbers. They weren't that price for anyone watching. So I don't even know how much these are full price, probably about 15 bucks. And then Spotlight had them on sale for $7, but then they were on sale again for like, I don't know, $2.50 or something. Just in case you're listening, American people, everything is really expensive over here. I saw someone post how much their thickers were the other day. They'd bought them from like Hobby Lobby or Tuesday Morning or something, and it literally had a price tag on it for $2.50 or maybe $3. Ours are 10 bucks, 12. Like, whoa. Anywho, so I do weekly. So this week we went to visit my parents down in the country where they live. Then they came back up to Melbourne where we live with my mum squeezed in the back seat because the boys, especially Tom, he cries a lot. at first in the car because he's so little. So mum was in the back shushing him and keeping him calm. And then we had my sister's baby shower. So she got a big pregnant bubba because Lincoln is not out yet. And then this was just a really fun adventure day that Jack went on with his daddy. I do try and put them in order, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes I don't. So again, still using the Blessed collection. Sorry about the glare. I've tried to do this early in the morning to have sort of worse light actually, but I was hoping there would be less glare than if there was direct light. So hopefully that works. My son is obsessed with PJ Masks, as a lot of little boys are, and he didn't have any. If you watch the channel, you'll know he's now got a dress up, but at this stage he didn't have any dress ups, so I made really quick homemade paper masks, like didn't even really, anyway. He was obsessed with them, obsessed. So mummy had to be Owlette, he is Catboy, daddy is Gecko, and grandpa is Night Ninja. Like, anyway, the small things that amuse kids, I love it. Train rides just for funsies. Getting eaten by a dinosaur. So many things. So this was a beautiful, I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure I've got a video for this one. This was a beautiful piece of patterned paper, and it had a really gorgeous title, something about being thankful for you or something like that, but just, I don't know, didn't roll with what I wanted. So I fussy cut the paper off, the beautiful gold flowers off, and then attached them where I wanted them, and I colored in the little cherries, the little berries, yellow. Don't think I did a process video for this because I felt it had already been done. This was a scrap lift of a Virginia Walker. It is a Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file and then a scrap lift of a Virginia Walker layout. Just the adventure on the Raymond Island Ferry. And then all that we did when we were down in the country, down in Bensdale, finding koalas, just enjoying New Year's Eve, which totally makes no sense. Oh no, New Year, New Me, sorry. I just briefly read that. I'm like, how is that New Year's Eve? We're in week 3. It's not. We went on this big walk down to the Den of Nargan, which is like the whole way down. And Jack was amazing, got all the way down, no worries. It's really short, but it's all rocks. And then he got like 3 steps going back up and went, nah, I'm done. So we had to piggyback him the whole way up, and I was already wearing Thomas, and then he cracked it because mummy had to have him, and then Thomas cracked it because I was trying to give Thomas to someone else. Like, I can't carry both of you. I know I'm super mum, but I'm not quite that super uphill on a big steepy rock. But we did that. We got it in the end. So this is one of the reasons why my album is so thick. If I can't fit everything that's important in a week, I put in a little insert, and Lincoln is so important that he had to have his own little insert. I'll just do this for 1 sec. If you don't want to see, he's not sick, but little baby in hospital with wires and tubes and stuff, maybe just skip forward a little bit. You know in now that he's totally fine, no drama, nothing, but he obviously had to have tubes and stuff because he didn't have an esophagus, so he had to be fed, and then the other tubes and wires are just heart rate monitors and stuff, so it's nothing bad, nothing. He's so tiny and adorable. So he had his own special little page from after his surgery, and then this is before. So funny looking at him in this before photo, and you now look at him and go, gosh, he did look sick. He just looked so little and so pale and so, but at the time we were like, oh, he looks so good. He's so healthy. Oh, look at him. It's so funny. Maybe not funny, haha, just ironic. So actually a lot of these branding strips are from my scraps. I didn't just use the ones from the Blessed collection because they had a lot of writing on them, which is totally fine, but it kind of didn't go with the flow of what was happening here. You needed to have some with just pictures. But this one was just too gorgeous not to put onto the layout. There are only 2 ways to live your life: as though nothing is a miracle, or as though everything is a miracle. And here's my little miracle boy. So again, another Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file here, Ballywhacker Star. That does have a process video, very minimal embellishments on that one. There's also a follow-up process video where I use the reverse of the cut file, which will be coming up soon. Okay, so that was all the month of January, because this week is January 29th to February the 3rd, and so that's all only using a little tiny bit of my stash and the main kit that I get from Kitaholics Kits, and that's it. So then this month is February, and so this is using the next kit. And again, I only buy the main kit, so this is just how much I squeeze out of the main kit each month. I do, as I said, I do pull a little bit from my stash. Like in this one, I pulled out the rhinestones. And I think in that one, I think the sequins maybe didn't come with the kit. They might have been from a different kit. I can't remember. But in general, it's mostly 90% of the product is from the main kit. I do actually, I'm just thinking, because I put in the insert. No, I was just thinking, I thought maybe the insert might have had, because you see how I back each of the photos? I thought maybe I needed to get some stash paper to fit the backing of each of the photos, because I had extra photos this month. But no, all still from the main kit. So this month I did the 4 for 4 series from Janet from RTS Scrapbooking. So these layouts are the 4 different layouts she does in her 4 for 4 series. I will link her down below and you can follow along with that series. She actually has a new one that went up relatively recently. Okay, it was a little while ago. For summer, I have a process video for all 4 of these. This is Jack and this is Thomas. Jack is 5 months and 5 days old. Thomas is 4 months and 19 days old, so almost 5 months. And I noticed when I snapped this photo how very similar but very different they look. Oh, this is the very first time that Jack would ever let us do face painting. He flat out refuses to get his face painted. He even watched his best friend get her face painted and still said no. But when she suggested his arm, he actually was okay with that. So that was pretty cool. First time ever. Playing with his dress up, scaring daddy as Spider-Man. So this was layout 1 in the 4 for 4 series. This is layout 2 in the 4 for 4 series. And I really love the texture and the elements of this one. I don't know if you can see, but that's all popped up on foam. The little dots are popped up on foam. They're all like torn and distressed. I just love the little bit extra that Janet taught us and put into this design. And she also did different, like I think, is that the Happy Horizontal? Oh, I'm not really sure, but that's obviously a grid design. Not much happening, just a week in the life. Jack found an echidna. We went for a walk near Katie's house and he's like, "What's that over there, Mum?" And we walked over and sure enough, there was a little echidna in the little tree stump looking for ants. Oh my God, this was a disaster. So as you know, getting pregnant, you put on weight and your body changes. So during the pregnancy, I'd put a whole, I have a lot of clothes and I'd put all the clothes that couldn't and didn't fit me during the pregnancy. And also, which is really, really, really impractical for breastfeeding in the early stages, into those big candy stripe bags. You can sort of see them there in the background, and put them in the garage. Well, I didn't realize that, no, I realized the garage had flooded. So that was fine, didn't think anything of it. And then we went to get Jack's car seat that I had stored in the car out, because I was swapping Thomas out of the capsule and putting him into a car seat. And when we got Jack's new car seat out, it was all moldy because the garage had flooded and the water had gotten into the car seat and all the fabric had gone moldy, and so then that was a disaster. Cleaned all that, let that go. I didn't photograph that. And then a couple of weeks later, I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but I was sitting there and I thought, oh my goodness, my clothes. So I ran out and got these candy stripe bags, and everything was moldy. It was just a disaster. And I know how dangerous mold is, and I know I should have just tossed it, but I'm talking about a lot of clothes, a lot. So I separated them into the color groups because I wanted to wash them, and then I threw out probably more than half of them because they just weren't worth saving. Then I soaked some, and then with boiling water, and then I put them through the washing machine on like the drum clean setting, which is like 90-degree temperature. And then a lot of them, when you then looked at them, then had torn and ripped and all of that because the mold had eaten away more than you could see at the time. So I tossed all of those. Then I washed them again to actually wash them. And then anything that still had like the really strong lingering smell, I tossed those. And I did manage to keep a quarter of them, maybe. It took me days and days and days to sort them all out. So that was fun. Let's put it that way, fun. So Lincoln is home. This is layout 4, I think, for the 4x4 series. The block design with the grid on top. And Jack's having his first little cuddle because Jack wasn't allowed to see Lincoln when he was at the hospital because he was in the special care unit. For his safety and the safety of the other little babies, kids weren't allowed in because obviously they do just carry a few more germs and things than adults do. Adults still have germs, but we can be a little bit more careful with where we cough and all of that. So unless you were a brother or a sister of one of the children in the special care nursery, you couldn't go in, which was totally fine, absolutely. So he was very excited to finally get to come over to Auntie Katie's house and meet baby Lincoln. Lincoln was probably about a month old by now. Diggin' Bean 3, this is not one of the 4x4 series. There should be another one, it must be coming. Yeah, it's coming. I just made this cut file myself and created that based on the theme of Jack's birthday. Again, this is the other reason why this album is so big. This is an insert, an extra layout because of Jack's birthday. I didn't want to miss any of these photos. Like, he got to help make a cake at school with his favorite educator. And then he had a birthday party at Auntie Katie's house with Grandma and Grandpa, and we had cake. And then he had another birthday party at Nan and Pa's house, and he had cake. And then this is the actual day of his birthday. He didn't feel well, the poor little darling. So he's in between resting on the couch. He's playing with his new presents. And then another cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict. Obviously, my layouts do start to get a little cut file heavy at this stage because this is when I have been elected or won the position of doing design team work for Confessions of a Paper Addict. So I do start using a lot more cut files than I used to. Yeah, so this was the birthday present from Auntie Katie. He got a real Catboy costume, and then this layout here has actually been updated, so you can no longer get this cut file anymore. The buildings now actually represent real life buildings you might see if you traveled around the world, which is pretty amazing. So really well-known landmark buildings. So now we're at week 9. This is layout 2, I think. No, 3. This is layout 3 from the 4x4 series, where Janet taught us how to make these really cute scallop embellishments. I've really loved, one thing I've loved the most, I think, for me about getting in and doing Janet's collection was getting out my edge punches. I've never used an edge punch before. In fact, I didn't own an edge punch. So I didn't go and buy one. My sister had them and she didn't use hers. So I got them off her. And I must say, I haven't used them since doing the 444 series. Fair call. But I used them a lot during the 444 series. And it was really great to see how to use them and what I could do so that I can get into that a bit more as things come up. So you can see, I haven't mentioned this, you can see with my Project Life section, I do minimal embellishing on the Project Life because I'm very photo heavy. I really want to include all the important things that happen in the week. So I usually put a large-ish embellishment on my title page, just whatever I've got left really of the collection that I'm using. So I was just looking what I'm up to here, new month. And then there's usually enough of the journaling spots in just the main kit, usually. Sometimes not quite. I do cut them down, like that will be half a one and there'll be another half somewhere else. I journal very small, but if there's not enough, which I think April I didn't have enough, I just use plain white paper. It is totally fine.